if there was a shorter, quicker, faster, I love those three words, shorter, quicker, faster way to be healthy, fit and strong? What if there was the shortest way? Would you do it? It's a question that I always ask. Because today somebody asked me that question, Rowie, how come I've never heard of the phosphate system? Now that's an interesting question because there's three energy systems in the body, phosphate, lactate and aerobic, and that's where energy comes from. So if you want to do anything, whether it's eat your breakfast or go for a walk or vacuum the floor or clean the car or run a marathon or do an Ironman, doesn't matter, the energy's got to come from somewhere, and there's three energy systems. The number one fight and flight, 10-second, all-out 100% effort system is the phosphate system. So if you study your anatomy and physiology, where does energy come from for me to do the stuff that I want to do, then you'll know that the phosphate system is 10 seconds. You use stored phosphates, instant energy, because it's only 10 seconds. You've got to go quickly. It's the 100% effort system. It's the only race in the Olympic Games, for example, where you're going at 100% effort. Everything after that becomes a pace, because after 10 seconds, you go into the lactate system. And the lactate system, as I always have a giggle, and it's not really funny, but it's the burn and the vomit system. It's called the green zone for a reason. Because when you go really, really hard as you can, after 10 seconds, you start tapping into an energy system where there's no oxygen available. You're using stored carbohydrate, glycogen from your liver and your muscles, but you tend to get a burning sensation in your muscles. That's where you always hear, feel the burn. And some people feel sick, and that's why it's called the green zone. So, as an exercise professional, as I always share, I don't like to put people into that green zone because it's very unlikely that they will continue with their exercise program. Their muscles are burning and they feel sick. Elite athletes is a little bit different because there's a lot of sports where you have to build up a resistance to that burning sensation and to that I feel sick sensation. But if I want to get people really fit and really strong, I'm going to aim for the 100% effort. And as I always share, 100% effort to get 100% result. Once you go past 2 to 3 minutes and you start working aerobically, where you start burning fat and carbohydrate and a little bit of protein, we live there 24/7 our whole lives. That's how the human body functions when it's not exercising hard, or it's not working hard, it's not putting in an overload effort. So if you exercise in that system, it's very unlikely that you'll get good results because you're only working at 40, 50, 60%. And it's long and boring. So I'm going to go back to those three words. Quickest, fastest, shortest way to exercise. What is it? And that's where this conversation was really interesting today, because it was, how come I've never heard that you only have to exercise for 10 seconds? And I think that's a really great question, because I ask that question every single day. Exercise physiologists, cardiologists, personal trainers, gym owners, social media influencers, they all give you programs that are much, much longer than 10 seconds. But once you go past 10 seconds, you're out of the 100% effort system. And more importantly than just the exercise, when you go into 100% effort, fight and flight, the chemical response in your body, the overload in your body, is a massive change. Your body says, wow, we worked at 100% effort. We have to get fitter and stronger for next time, because what if Rowie does that to us again? That old woman, because I'm very old, if she pushes us to that effort again, we better be better for next time. So it's not just the physiological chemistry response inside your body, it's also the psychological response. Your brain says we've got to be better for next time, and that's where the two come together so beautifully. So when you go at 100% effort, you have massive response with cortisol, epinephrine, adrenaline. So your body works really hard to get you away from the threat. That's why it's called the fight and flight system. So I'm going to say that again. Adrenaline, epinephrine, same thing. Cortisol, which is all the things required to make sure that your blood pressure goes up, your heart rate goes up, your blood sugar levels go up, your pupils dilate, everything else shuts down, except I've got to get away from this threat. So you can go at 100% effort so you don't die. I just think all of that sounds awesome for two reasons. One is it's only 10 seconds. 10 seconds is such a short period of time. And for most people who don't do any exercise, 10 seconds is as close to zero as you can get. But if you're a person who's used time as an excuse for not exercising, if you aren't getting the results that you want from the long, boring exercise program that you're doing, and anything past, and I'll use the general public because they share this with me all the time, if I do 20 minutes on the treadmill or 30 minutes on the cross trainer or 10 minutes on the rowing machine, or I go to a class for 45 minutes, for the people that are fit, that might seem like a really short period of time. And I hear this all the time from the experts, but you only have to put in 30 minutes or you only have to do 40 minutes. Or if you give me 2 hours a week, I'll get you fit and strong. But for people that are weak and unfit and hate exercise, do you know how long 2 hours sounds? It sounds like 2 years, and it may as well be. It's the reason why people don't exercise, because it's not short, it's not quick, it's not fast. And those 3 words are really important. The actual exercise program needs to be short because people don't have time. The actual exercise session needs to be really short because people don't want to exercise, 9 out of 10. But the results have to be fast. If you give somebody a long, slow, boring exercise program and you tell them in 6 months' time you're going to be fit and strong, most people are not interested in that time frame. And I use this example all the time. If you go to the dentist and they say you should brush your teeth for 2 minutes, I have some great relationships with great dentists, and they always share with me that we tell people 2 minutes because most people only do 1 minute, because it seems like 2 minutes is such a long time. Imagine if the dentist said you have to brush your teeth for 30 minutes or 60 minutes every day. Even if it was the best way to have beautiful teeth, most people wouldn't do it because it's just too bloody long. So if I've got a program that's short and gives me results very fast, am I more likely to stick to it? Please say yes. And I don't care whether you think that 1 hour exercise programs or 45-minute exercise programs or even 10 minutes is a great time. I think 10 minutes is a long time to exercise because you can't go hard for 10 minutes. You can go long and slow and boring, or you can go hard and fast, but you can't do both. And the fastest is the phosphate system. It's only 10 seconds. Now, the beautiful conversation that I had about that 10-second intense activity, and I don't even like to call it exercise because 10 seconds is such a short period of time, but you don't have to pace yourself. You don't even have to think about it. You just go as hard as you possibly can, inside or outside, skipping, jumping, sprinting on the spot, running up some stairs, running through soft sand, punch a bag, kick a bag, run up a hill. There's so many things you can do to get puffed really, really quickly, 10 seconds flat out. And the beautiful thing about that is because it's not long, you don't have to pace yourself. You don't even really have to think about it. It's much easier to do. Now, is it just 10 seconds? People say you can't just do 10 seconds. Well, every time you put in a 10-second effort at 100%, you feel good. But you can't go again until you're fully recovered. Now, if you're really fit, that time frame might be really short. So you might say, look, I love to exercise for an hour, and I'm very happy to exercise for an hour, but I go 10 seconds really hard, stop, get my breath back. 10 seconds really hard, stop, get my breath back. I can go for a very long time doing that, but I don't go again until I'm fully recovered. Because if you're not fully recovered, you can't put in 100% effort. So this stuff about, do 10 seconds and or 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 seconds and then go again straight away. Even if you're only doing 10 seconds, you can't go again straight away. You've put in 100% effort, you have to recover. And when you get back to resting, then you can go again at 100% effort. That's what I love about this whole system. Now, it's not Rowi's system. Somebody said that to me too. Oh, Rowi, but that's your way of exercising. No, that's how the human body works. There's 3 energy systems, phosphate, lactate, and aerobic. The phosphate system's 10 seconds. It's the only one that's 100% effort. You recover really quickly. There's no side effects or waste product because it's so short. And you get fit really fast, and it's much easier to do because it's short and it gives you results really quickly, and you're less likely to get injured because you're not putting stress through your body because only 10 seconds. Doesn't that all make sense? But here's the really interesting thing. Most people think it's too good to be true. I have to go for an hour, I have to go for 45 minutes, or I have to go for 30 minutes, otherwise it won't work. Well, here's a better question to ask. What if it did work? What if all you had to do every day to be healthy, fit and strong, lean, energetic and feel fantastic and have great self-esteem and strong bones and muscles and strong teeth and an immune system that doesn't get sick because muscles pulling on your bones gives you strong bones, and strong bones is where your immune system is built, and you had a digestive system that works really well, you had a hormonal system that tells you when to eat and when to stop eating so you don't get fat because you don't overeat. I get excited about all that stuff. Don't you? Imagine if you could do all of that in such a short period of time. Why do we want people to exercise for a long time? I don't know. And I've been an exercise professional all of my life. And the biggest change in my life, and this is where it becomes and I'm going to lay this on the line, I think it's irresponsible and I think it's rude. If you don't know the energy systems and you're an exercise professional, that's like being a mechanic and not knowing what an engine is in a car. That's like being a builder and not knowing what wood or tiles or brick or building plans are. It's the fundamentals of how the human body works. So if you're an exercise professional and you don't have a really good understanding of phosphate, lactate, aerobic systems, if you don't have a really good understanding of how the endocrine system works, how the myokine system works, sending muscles a message from your muscle back to your brain, if you don't have a really good understanding of why the human body, everything works together, so skeletal muscular system, cardiovascular respiratory system, endocrine central nervous system, immune system, digestive system, all of those things work together to create a high functioning human being who can really have a great life. And if you don't have those things working effectively, that's where people get sick, they get fat, they get depressed, they get disease, they've got no energy, their life is pretty crappy. So if you are an exercise professional and you don't understand all of those things, I'm going to lay it on the line here and say that's really irresponsible. If you're going to put somebody's life, energy, the way they look and feel in your hands, please make sure that your hands are capable of being able to help that person to be healthy, fit, strong, lean and energetic for the rest of their life. And if you think that giving them a long program, and anything past 10 seconds is long for most people, because 9 out of 10 people don't exercise. And here's an interesting side note. The people that love to exercise, that go to the gym 7 days a week, that do hours and hours of exercise, they don't need your help. They're already exercising. They already think they know it all. The people that go to the gym 7 days a week, they don't want help because they are the experts. They've got such huge egos that they know everything about everything. Again, as an interesting side note though, I don't have conversations with those people anymore, because if I ask them, how do you get fitter and how do you get stronger? How does the endocrine system work? How does the myokine system work? How do hormones work to make sure that you get healthy, fit, strong, lean and energetic for the rest of your life? They can't answer me those questions. Most people that have got an opinion about food and exercise don't even know what food's made of. They don't know what the energy systems are. They don't know how the body works because they don't know their anatomy and physiology. And I can say that with such passion because I'm an old lady I started exercising when I was 10 years of age. I got up off the floor when I was 13 and started exercising more effectively. I didn't learn my anatomy. I still don't know my anatomy. I'm learning every single day. And it's an interesting thing to take note of. Experts know everything about everything and they'll tell you they do. People who are humble, open to learning, want to keep learning and are committed to becoming better and better at what they do will tell you, I don't know. And I'm going to share with you very passionately. Every day that I learn, all I learn is that I need to learn more. I'm learning every day because I love my human body. I live in this thing. I want to look after it for the rest of my life. And if somebody else trusts me with their body, I want to make sure that I'm going to give them the best, safest, quickest, shortest, most effective exercise program possible. Isn't that the responsibility of an exercise professional? I'm going to go a step further now because I'm teaching classes. Yesterday was a classic example. The youngest person in my class was 2. That's a child. That's a tiny little child. That 2-year-old was in the class with their 4-year-old brother, their older brother and sister, their mother and their father, all in the class together. I need to make sure that that family stays healthy, fit and strong for the rest of my life, their life. And if they trust me to come to my class, I want to make sure that I'm looking after their heart, their lungs, their bones, their muscles, their endocrine system, their central nervous system, their digestive system. I want to make sure that they're healthy, fit, strong, lean, energetic human beings for the rest of their life. And the reverse of that, the world's fatter and sicker and weaker and more diseased and more depressed than it's ever been. And that's not just our adults. We've got sick kids now because they're inactive. They're fat, they're sick, they're diseased. They've got old people's diseases and they're only little. That's just not fair. I think that's irresponsible, and I think that as an exercise professional, I need to change that. Now, I can't change the world, but I can change me. I can make sure that I'm learning every day, so I don't give people long, boring exercise programs that they won't stick to. And we know that people don't stick to their exercise program because if they did, that we would have a world that is healthy, fit, strong, lean and energetic, not fat, sick, weak and diseased. Please learn your anatomy. Please learn those 3 energy systems. And please understand that if somebody says to you, how little can I do to get healthy, fit and strong? And that's a question that people ask me all the time. Rowie, what do? You must do hours and hours of exercise. And I always answer with exactly the same answer. No, I do as little as possible. I do BAM, a bare ass minimum. 10 seconds of high intensity, sprint on the spot, 10 seconds of strength training. If you can lift something for longer than 10 seconds, it's too light. That's how simple exercise can be, how short it can be. And when you work at 100% effort, is it more likely that you'll get 100% result? Please say yes. So how about we get our world healthy, fit and strong and make sure that our kids grow up in a world where they can be healthy, fit and strong, not fat, sick, weak and disease like it has become. That's been my goal my entire life. I want to live my life to the max, and I'd love for you to do the same. Live your life to the max. Super-duper-doo, how are you? Living my life to